Hey, sixth grade leaders. My name's Aaron McGinnis. I'm the student director. I know by the time you start doing this, I may no longer be the student director, but that's okay. Sixth grade year is actually going to be an awesome year. Thank you for signing on. Sundays are great, and we really believe that this time on Sunday mornings, to do small groups, to engage in the Bible, to be in peer groups and in mentor groups is going to be actually very kind to our sixth graders. We've noticed in the past we've thrown them into youth group, kind of the structure loosens, and it just hasn't been a great place for them to thrive. So I'm hoping that this year in this youth room that you see is going to be a nice hybrid year where they start to flex those wings, spread those wings a bit, but also have a safe, controlled environment. So thank you for doing what you do. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown. So as you head into the year, you will kind of have a picture of how does this look. Many of you have done kids ministry before, and there's going to be a lot of elements that carry over because family ministry is the umbrella, kids and students are underneath, but a lot of the same concepts, a lot of the same ideas carry over. So as much as it is this big new thing, it will also feel quite familiar. So I'm going to run you first through just the room so you know what it looks like, what you're doing in here. So this is the youth room. It used to have a huge wall, but now it's flattened. It's wonderful. It's just a good open space to connect. So this is where we will be when you come in here with your students. This corner will be your kind of your stomping grounds. I often say in ministry, we want to create living rooms, not classrooms. We want to create circles, not rows, because this is not simply a time where we teach kids about the Bible, where we have all the content in our minds and we want them to download it in their minds. Sometimes we think of it that way, but that's not it. It's a time where we get to be in relationship. We get to actually talk, discuss, invite Jesus into it, and be together, do life together. So you'll see there's even some couches. Honestly, when you guys get in here, this is a great space to even put some of these chairs, circle it up. Maybe you have, 12 kids or so, maybe you make 2 circles right here. That'd be a perfect space to do that, and it would set up that community really well. So over here, you'll also see the TV, and we'll get in. You guys are very used to going to Browncroft Kids and choosing the video, and it's going to be exactly the same, but Browncroft students, you have your remote right here. That should be here, but this will be where the content is coming from. You can see here it says September 22nd, 6-minute video. So this is where the TV will be. Kids often like this darker corner. It feels more cozy than, say, over here. So your primary teaching time and community time and discussion time and prayer time is all going to be over in this corner. Now, there are some things that we have to help you in this time. So if we walk through this door and instead of turning towards this side, we turn towards this side, you'll see that we have a sink. And up here, I just want to show you some things. And honestly, this might, if you need to go grab this right now, go do so. Make sure that you see your bin. You'll have a birthday bin in case you have any birthdays you want to do. And you will have kind of your small group leader bin. You guys kind of know the idea of bins in here. Your curriculum's going to be your small group questions, but there are a couple of things in here. I'll go through them right now just so you know. And even in real time, go ahead and check to make sure these things are here. So there are, all the curriculum is in one of these manila folders. So we will give you the curriculum for the month, the 4 weeks. We'll print them off. Lizzie will help print them off, put them in here. We also have blank sheets of paper if you ever want to do drawing prompts, activities, a paper airplane competition, whatever it may be. There's paper in here. We have colored pencils, pens, and I'm going to get to this really soon. I actually will probably have you guys do a little activity. This is something called Solarium. It's all these pictures. Here, let me pull one out here. You kind of have all these pictures, and it's a great kind of discussion activity, thinking activity, and that's going to be something new when you come into students, but we'll get into that very soon. So Although the first day, I'm going to give you a rundown on what almost every week is going to look like. The first day, there's a thing in your bin that will show you exactly what the first day is about. But I'm going to share what a normal week will look like. So, when students come to church, they're actually going to be in the sanctuary with their families. We really want them and to encourage them to sit with their families, to worship alongside their families, to understand what it means to be a family praising, worshiping God. So we want to build that in them in sixth grade, because seventh grade, that's what they're going to do. They're going to be in the service with their families. So we want to kind of train those muscles right now. They'll be in that time. So after worship, we'll all get up, and maybe you guys slip out a little early and you'll get to this room, but students will be instructed to come down. Maybe you meet in the lobby and you come down. So, after worship, that's like 20 minutes in. It'll give you 45 minutes of time together. You'll come through the doors. You'll head to the corner. And as we head to the corner, I almost said this, but I'll say it. So as we do circles, not rows, living rooms, not classrooms, I just want you guys to understand, and you guys are already doing a great job of this. The main goal is not necessarily, again, for kids to download information about God into their minds. Some people think that, hey, if I just teach them everything they need and they completely forget about me, I've done my job. If they grow up and they don't even know my name anymore, but they know about Jesus, I've done my job. There's something there, but really what we've found is that what creates a lasting faith is actually relationship. And you actually see that with Jesus and the disciples. He didn't simply teach them and then run away. He did life with them. And I was reminded, I got a text from a student, and he said, "Hey, Aaron, I'm thinking about asking this girl on a date, but I'm really scared. What should I do?" And I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of like a small group leader win, because he trusted me enough to shoot out a message, and I got to point him to Jesus. Hey, Ryan, whether she says yes or no, know that your value has not changed. Your value is found in God, not what others think of you. But here's some advice. I'm praying for you. Make sure you're going to God with this stuff. And he's like, absolutely, I've been praying about it a lot. So that's what I just described was the result of relationship building, not necessarily perfect teaching. So as we're in these circles and as we're talking to our students, think about, how can I be there for them? How can I ask about their day? How can I pray for them? How can I show up for them that I can form a relationship and point them to Jesus long term? So that's kind of a cool vision way to think about that. So all the students come in, they've just come from service, they've worshiped with their families, we all sit down, we get comfy, we get cozy, maybe we say, hi, how was your week? And then we're going to get into the content for the day. And I showed you this before. Let me open YouTube here. Here we go. Showed you this before, but what you'll do is you'll go either to search or all the way down to subscriptions. You grab the remote and you'll click the date, Browncroft students, 6th grade week 1. So that's an actual video that you guys will do the first time you do a video. So you're going to click this, and this is going to be a lot like you do in kids ministry, but there is a big twist. So I'm going to show you this. You'll see what the twist is. I'm going to click the video, something you're very used to. This is going to be one of the first things. But as I scroll forward, let's try this. As I scroll forward, you'll notice around this time, there is going to be something different than you are used to. Wait for it. There you go. You're going to see this. Come up on the screen. The person's going to talk, they're going to talk, and then it's going to say pause to discuss with your small group. So this is new for you guys. This is a new model. It's something I call the jellyfish model. They found that, especially for middle schoolers, a great way to teach is not necessarily to give them a 15-minute lecture and then send them out, but to chunk up everything. They call it the jellyfish because you do a large group teaching, small group discussion. Large group teaching, small group activity. Large group teaching, small group time. So that's what's going to happen. 3 or 4 times throughout the video, it's going to say pause to discuss with your small group. And on your, you guys know this, there's discussion questions on your small group leader guides. So you'll have a guide that will specifically say, hey, during the first pause, this is the question that I want you guys to discuss. Sounds good? Take 5 minutes, take 10 minutes, whatever you think makes sense for that time. That's what you should do. And there's two things, a couple things here that I want to talk about. One, know that you only have about 45 minutes for the whole time. So if, for example, you're looking at your small group leader guide beforehand and you're like, wow, man, the activity at the end is so good, then maybe you want to set time limits for these pause and talk times. Maybe you want to say, hey, guys, as a group, us leaders, we're talking together before this. Let's not spend more than 4 minutes about on each question leading up to the activity, because we really think that activity is going to be really good. Or maybe you get together and you can say, hey guys, we're just looking at the curriculum here. Honestly, these first 2 questions are incredible. If these questions, if the kids just keep talking and we're just, and it's just going, it's okay if we spend 15 minutes on this question and don't make it to the end. So that's something that you guys as a team can kind of come together and discuss. So that's going to be new for you, but I'm telling you, we've been doing this in student ministry. When we do our large group speaking, all the small groups are in circles. It's been absolutely wonderful to do that. Now, this is where something like this Solarium comes in. When you see something that says pause and talk to your small group, Orange will give you small group discussion questions. They're great. They're fantastic. You can tweak them however you want, but I also want to let you know that you do have some tools in your arsenal to help with the discussion. Sometimes you pause for discussion and you get crickets. Jimmy, Rachel, anyone? Does anyone want to talk? You just get crickets. So I've actually placed in your bin something called integrated teaching activities. Things like think, pair, share. Have you heard of this? It's, all right, guys, this is the question. I want you guys for 10 seconds to think about it. Okay, now that same question, I want you to pair up with the person next to you and talk about it. A minute and a half goes by. All right, now share what the other person said, or share what you guys talked about in that time. Think, pair, share. It's a great way to get discussion going. One of my favorite ones, and we're actually going to do this right now, is called Solarium. And this is what it does. It's a picture, kind of a picture activity. It helps kids process. And instead of saying like, hey, how's it been? How's your prayer life been? Instead of just saying that question and getting absolute crickets from the kids, you pull out these cards and you say, hey, choose a picture that describes how you feel with your prayer life. And someone might say, honestly, I feel like I'm shouting at God and he doesn't hear me. I feel like I'm constantly praying to him and he's doing nothing about it. That's why I chose this card. Or they might say, honestly, I feel like overwhelmed and like there's a million things to pray about and I don't know which one to choose. So that's where Solarium, these cards, can help you have really good discussions within those moments where you pause. So I said we were going to practice this, and this is what I need you to do. One of you get out the Solarium cards, go ahead and grab them. You're going to lay them out. You're going to get ready to pause this video just like you would here. And this is the question that I want you guys to answer. Or this is what I want you guys to do. Choose a picture that describes how you are feeling about this year as a leader. Choose a picture that describes how you feel going into the year as a leader. How are you feeling? So pause, take as much time as you need. Don't go too far over, and then we'll come back to this. Sound good? All right. Okay, awesome. I hope that was a good time. I hope you had good discussions. And honestly, these types of things, these type of activities, you can look through the integrated teaching activities. Some of them are going to resonate, some of them aren't, but they can really help get really rich discussion. And you might realize, wow, these students, I mean, they're 11, 12 years old, they have way more going on in their minds than we ever thought. So I just want to encourage you with that. So When you and your leaders are getting together, you're looking at the curriculum, you're looking at the discussions, you're looking at the questions. Something you could do is label, hey, this is good as just a straight up question. Hey, on pause number 2, let's make that a think, pair, share. We're going to ask them to think, pair up, share it. Maybe say, question number 3, now that's going to be a solarium. Let's make sure we have the cards and get ready to do a solarium. And there's many different things, bring out a Bible passage. There's a 4-corner activity. There's all these things you can look through, but maybe you go through those questions and kind of just label them on how you want to do those questions. Maybe it's not always a straight discussion, but maybe sometimes it's an activity that gets them thinking. And also, straight questions are fine as well. So there you go. That's how it's going to look. The time that will probably take you to watch a video, to do the 3 pauses or 4 pauses, it's going to take you 30 minutes, 35 minutes or so, somewhere in there. And then this is what I want to happen every single week, is to gather for prayer requests. Hey, how can I be praying for you? And leaders, participate in the group as well. Hey, I'm a leader. I just want to let you know, like, my mom is struggling right now. She's in the hospital. Could you pray for her? Hey, my son, my whoever, my class, if you're a team leader, if, these things have been tough or these things have been going great, can you pray for me? So participate in those as well, because we want students to know that their lives matter enough for you to bring their lives before God. And that's huge. So that's kind of how the day will look. I'm so used to nights, but that's how the day will look. You pray it out. It's, you've got 5 minutes left. Mingle, you can play, you can go in the gym, things like that. But it should be a pretty clean rhythm to each night or each day. Make sure, I'll talk with Alex, but getting together, going over the curriculum before you walk in 20 minutes in the service, right, will be really important as well. But there you go. The main things, we're doing circles, not rows, right? It's living rooms, not classrooms. We're doing the jellyfish model. It's less about us teaching content. It's more about us discussing and sharing and being with these students, mentoring, gaining influence, and pointing them to Jesus. Grow those relationships. We want them to know your name, and we want them to bring up your name when they enter the kingdom of heaven on the last day. So, and your bins are going to be in the corner. So I think we're in good shape here. I think we're going to be doing just fine. I would designate one person or couple people to be the pausers. Sometimes you can miss it, just to pause the video on time. But there you go. That's what I think. I think God's going to do great things this year. Keep leaning into those relationships. Do not be afraid to challenge our students or to pray for them or to bring up God to them. This is the place for it. All right. I'm excited for the year. You guys are going to do awesome.